For anyone who has ever admired the elegance, polish, and sleek visual consistency of macOS, but wished they could enjoy the speed, flexibility, and openness of Linux, the world of macOS-like distributions offers an exciting middle ground. Today's video dives deep into the top 10 Linux distros that feel like macOS, exploring not just their appearance, but also their performance, workflows, built-in applications, ecosystem strengths, customization options, and real-world usability for everyday users, developers, digital creators, and people switching from Apple computers to a Linux environment that still maintains that premium Mac OS aesthetic. This script explores each distribution in detail, how close it gets to Apple's look and feel, what makes it impressive, where it falls short, and who it's best suited for, turning this into an ultimate guide for anyone searching for a Mac OS-inspired Linux experience. Imagine a system that boots up in seconds, looks gorgeous, and runs fast even on older hardware, while giving you full control over every part of the interface. That's what this list is all about. The first thing many users look for in a macOS-like Linux distro is the visual experience. macOS is known for its centered dock, translucent top bar, consistent iconography, rounded window corners, smooth animations, and a cohesive design language. Linux developers and theme creators have spent years building environments that replicate these features, from icons and cursors to window themes and system layouts. But beyond the visuals, what truly matters is workflow. macOS is unique because it combines simplicity with power: the dock for quick app access, the Finder for file management, Spotlight search, fluid desktop transitions, and an intuitive settings experience. Many Linux distros attempt to recreate these, offering launchers similar to Spotlight, docks similar to the macOS dock, and file managers styled to resemble Finder. When these all come together, you get an environment that feels not just similar, but almost native to Apple's design philosophy. Let's begin exploring the distros that pull this off exceptionally well. The first on the list, and perhaps the most talked about, is Elementary OS. It's often referred to as the single most macOS-like Linux distribution ever created. From the moment Elementary OS boots, you're greeted with a clean, minimalist desktop, featuring a centered dock, translucent top panel, and an overall interface heavily inspired by macOS. The developers aren't shy about acknowledging that macOS guided their early design decisions, but they've matured the system into something distinct, polished, and incredibly smooth. The Pantheon desktop environment is their pride built in-house, designed with speed and simplicity in mind, and refined over years of development. What makes Elementary OS feel so close to macOS isn't just its layout, but its attention to detail. The animations are subtle but sleek. The App Store called App Center focuses on curated high-quality applications, and the system settings mirror macOS organization with clean icons and simplified controls. Even the notification bubbles, screenshot tool, multitasking view, and file manager resemble macOS in both function and visual layout. Performance-wise, Elementary OS is lightweight enough for older hardware, but also refined enough to satisfy users who want a premium modern desktop feel. Critics sometimes mention its limited customization, but that limitation is intentional. Like macOS, it favors coherence over endless tweaking. If someone is coming from macOS and wants the closest out-of-box Linux equivalent, Elementary OS remains the most seamless transition. Next in the lineup is Zorin OS, particularly the Pro Edition, which includes a dedicated macOS-like layout. Zorin OS is known for its versatility, reliability, and beautifully crafted desktop environment called Zorin Desktop. Built on top of GNOME, but optimized to run smoother, faster, and more efficiently. The macOS layout option includes a top panel, a bottom dock, and an overall design that closely mirrors macOS Monterey and Ventura. The icons are rounded, the animations gentle, and the general feel extremely premium. One of Zorin's best advantages over other macOS-like distros is its performance tuning. It is optimized to be fast even on older machines, which makes it a fantastic macOS alternative for aging MacBooks or PCs being repurposed. Zorin OS also includes a strong software suite, built-in support for Windows apps via Wine integration, and advanced features like Zorin Connect, which mirrors some of macOS continuity functions by integrating your phone with your desktop. This lets you get notifications, share files instantly, control your desktop remotely, and more. The Zorin Appearance tool also gives you easy ways to adjust the interface, letting you pick not just macOS-like themes, but different variants of them. The Pro version gives you the full macOS look, but even the free Zorin Core Edition feels elegant and refined. Users who want a balance between macOS aesthetics and powerful customization gravitate strongly toward Zorin because it offers beauty, speed, and flexibility, all in one. Moving deeper into the list, we encounter Deepin Linux, one of the most visually stunning operating systems in the Linux world. Deepin is designed with a strong emphasis on UI and UX, arguably surpassing even macOS in certain areas of animation fluidity, color transitions, and overall polish. The Deepin desktop environment DDE is built from scratch using Qt technology and offers an almost cinematic experience when navigating the system. The dock at the bottom can be set to macOS-style fashion mode. The control center opens from the side with smooth animations, and the window transparency effects feel luxurious. Deepin's App Store is one of the best in Linux, both aesthetically and functionally, giving users easy access to applications with a browsing experience reminiscent of the Mac App Store. Deepin File Manager is also extremely advanced, featuring tabs, split views, clear icon sets, and an overall Finder-like layout. What makes Deepin particularly interesting is its focus on making Linux accessible to non-technical users. Everything is discoverable, clickable, and visually intuitive. Although Deepin has faced scrutiny in the past regarding telemetry concerns, current releases are greatly improved and widely trusted by the global community. It also forms the foundation of UbuntuDDE Remix and other distros that borrow its interface but base themselves on different backends for broader trust and compatibility. For users prioritizing beauty above everything else, Deepin continues to be unmatched. It's offering an interface that not only rivals macOS, but sometimes exceeds its visual appeal. Another standout option is UbuntuDDE Remix, which takes the Ubuntu base, one of the most widely supported and compatible Linux distributions, and combines it with the Deepin desktop environment. This hybrid solution gives users the best of both worlds, a stability and software availability of Ubuntu alongside the sleek Deepin appearance. For those who want macOS-like visuals, but prefer Ubuntu's update cycle and long-term support, UbuntuDDE Remix delivers exactly that. The dock, control panel, and general layout feel very reminiscent of macOS, especially when using Deepin's fashion mode dock and certain icon themes available through community repositories. Unlike Deepin itself, UbuntuDDE offers simpler package management, better compatibility with mainstream software, and access to Ubuntu's massive repositories. This makes it ideal for developers, content creators, and office workers who want beautiful visuals but also require maximum app support and system stability. It also runs surprisingly well on mid-range hardware, and customization options allow you to tailor the interface to your liking. The result is a system that feels familiar to macOS users while maintaining the robust flexibility that Ubuntu users love. On the more customizable side of the spectrum is KDE Plasma, especially when themed with macOS-inspired icon sets, window decorations, and dock solutions like Latte Dock. While KDE Plasma is not a distro itself, it powers distros like KDE Neon, Kubuntu, and Fedora KDE. With the right themes applied, Plasma transforms into one of the closest macOS clones you can create. Plasma's beauty lies in its infinite customizability. Every panel, button, icon, color, and animation is adjustable. You can match macOS Ventura or Sonoma to an almost unbelievable level, including rounded corners, blur effects, spotlight-style launchers, and even global menus similar to Apple's top bar. KDE Neon is particularly popular for this because it receives the latest Plasma updates directly from KDE developers, ensuring a cutting-edge experience. When properly configured, a KDE Plasma desktop can replicate macOS so convincingly that many switching users forget they're on Linux. This is ideal for power users who want not only macOS aesthetics, but also complete control over their workflow and system behavior. KDE's speed improvements over the years have also made it lighter and more efficient, giving users a buttery smooth interface with minimal resource usage. Although Plasma requires more manual tweaking to get that macOS feel, The results are absolutely worth it for users who enjoy crafting their perfect environment. Cosmic D from System76's Pop! OS is another strong contender, especially with its modern, clean, and organized interface that borrows hints from macOS while maintaining its own identity. Pop! OS is known for its out-of-box productivity features, powerful tiling window manager, smooth animations, and beautifully polished UI. The color, accents, window layout, and application design feel very premium. And with a few simple themes and dock adjustments, it can take on a striking macOS-like appearance. The upcoming Cosmic D written in Rust enhances this even further, offering smoother performance, better responsiveness, and a futuristic design that has strong macOS vibes without outright copying it. Many developers switching from macOS to Linux choose Pop! OS because of its ease of use, powerful keyboard workflows, great support for GPUs, and frequent updates, while Pop! OS is less of a macOS clone compared to Elementary or Zorin. Its user experience is refined, elegant, and comfortable in ways that Apple users quickly appreciate. Another excellent option many overlook is Linux Mint, with the Cinnamon desktop, themed and configured to resemble macOS. Although Cinnamon originally borrowed ideas from Windows, the desktop is incredibly flexible. By adding a macOS icon pack, a global menu extension, rounded window themes, and a bottom dock, Cinnamon transforms into a clean macOS-like environment with minimal effort. Linux Mint's biggest strength is its stability and simplicity. Everything works out of the box. Updates are easy, and the system is lightweight enough for older machines. For users who want a macOS vibe without any learning curve, Mint with a macOS theme is a perfect choice. The file manager Nemo becomes easy to theme like Finder. The panel can be adjusted to mimic macOS top bar, and desklets add functionality similar to macOS widgets. What makes Mint even more appealing is its enormous community support, making troubleshooting easy and customization guides abundant. If someone is switching from macOS but wants something extremely stable and beginner-friendly, Linux Mint with Cinnamon and a macOS makeover is a great path. We also have Pearl OS, a distribution explicitly designed to replicate macOS both visually and functionally. Pearl OS includes a dock that looks almost identical to the Mac dock, a top panel similar to Apple's menu bar, and themes that resemble macOS window controls, icons, and color schemes. Pearl OS goes further by including utilities and design elements that mimic macOS applications, such as Launchpad-style app grids and Finder-like file management. This makes Pearl OS one of the closest macOS replicas available, especially for users who want familiarity without needing to manually install themes or extensions. While it is less mainstream than Zorin or Elementary, its macOS emulation philosophy makes it a strong choice for people who want a Linux system that looks and behaves almost exactly like macOS right after installation. A different but increasingly popular option is Cutefish OS, which emerged with a focus on creating a simple, beautiful, and macOS-inspired interface. The Cutefish desktop environment features a centered dock, rounded corners, clean system settings, and a minimal top panel that all feel inspired by macOS Big Sur. Its design philosophy emphasizes clarity, simplicity, and elegance, three traits closely associated with macOS. Although Cutefish OS is still young and under active development, it has gained attention for its modern aesthetic and straightforward user experience. The dock animations are smooth, the icons are consistent, and the themes are lightweight. For users who want the freshest macOS-inspired Linux environment with a youthful modern flair, Cutefish offers something visually impressive, although it may not be as stable or feature-rich as more established distros. Finally, there is Feren OS, another polished and user-friendly distro that offers a macOS-style layout option through its appearance manager. Feren OS is based on Ubuntu and uses a customized KDE desktop, giving users a blend of stability and extreme customization flexibility. Its macOS layout includes a top panel, a bottom dock, and window themes with macOS aesthetics. Because it is built on KDE, it can replicate macOS incredibly closely if users choose to enhance the theme further. Feren OS also includes a well-designed welcome screen and guided setup tools that make switching from macOS extremely easy, and its curated applications provide a ready-to-use experience right after installation. It aims to reduce the complexity of Linux while presenting a clean, unified macOS-like system that requires minimal tweaking. Many users appreciate Feren OS because it evolves constantly, adding new designs and features that improve visual consistency and ease of use. When comparing all these distros, it becomes clear that the concept of feeling like macOS goes far beyond appearance. It involves workflow, fluidity, attention to detail, and an overall sense of polish. Elementary OS is the most faithful macOS-like experience out of the box. Zorin OS offers the best balance between macOS visuals and Linux flexibility. Deepin provides unmatched beauty with futuristic design language. UbuntuDDE Remix merges Deepin's visuals with Ubuntu's reliability. KDE Plasma offers the most customizable macOS clone for advanced users. Pop! OS focuses on elegant productivity with hints of macOS design excellence. Linux Mint gives a stable macOS-style transformation with minimal effort. Perl OS offers a near-clone appearance ready from installation. Cutefish OS delivers modern simplicity with macOS inspiration. And Feren OS combines KDE's power with easy macOS-style presets. Each represents a different interpretation of Apple's design philosophy, giving users choices depending on whether they prefer stability, customization, visual beauty, or out-of-a-box similarity. Switching from macOS to Linux, or simply wanting a macOS-like experience on a PC, is easier today than ever before. Linux has evolved significantly. Distros that not only run fast and perform efficiently, but also deliver premium design aesthetics comparable to Apple's operating system. These macOS-like Linux distros provide users the freedom of open-source software, the security of Linux architecture, and the elegance of a polished desktop environment. Whether someone is looking to revive an older laptop, escape the limitations of Apple's ecosystem, or simply enjoy a beautifully crafted Linux desktop, this list offers something for everyone. By understanding what each distro brings to the table, users can choose the one that aligns perfectly with their needs and preferences. The beauty of Linux is that it empowers users with choice, and these macOS-inspired distributions show just how versatile, customizable, and visually stunning the Linux world has become. As Linux continues to grow and evolve, these distros will keep pushing the boundaries of design and user experience, proving that you can enjoy the elegance of macOS without being locked into Apple's hardware or ecosystem. Ultimately, the decision depends on the level of customization desired, the hardware available, and how closely users want to mirror the macOS interface. But no matter which one is chosen, each of these Linux distros demonstrates the incredible creativity and innovation within the Linux community, offering experiences that rival and sometimes surpass the polished feel of macOS itself.